Hey guys, welcome back to Shop Life. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys the common problem with the E46 sunroofs. I'm going to show you guys a few little fixes that you can do and just go over the general problems and what usually causes them. So we're going to be working on this 2001 325i. This process is going to be the same for any E46 with the sunroof. So let's go ahead and get started. Alright guys, so the first issue that I'm going to show you guys is the sunroof motor. So if you just hear some kind of like very faint clicking, or if you don't, well, not even clicking, if you don't hear anything going on at all, first what you're going to want to do is check your fuse. The fuse for the sunroof is number 46, and you'll find the fuse in the glove box. So right here, you open the glove box. Once you open the glove box, you'll see two white tabs. So you have one white tab right here, which you have to make that straight. You have another one on the other side, do the same thing, and then the whole fuse tray will fall out. And then you can use your little guide that's right here and figure out which one is number 46 and then go ahead and pull it off. This right here is your fuse puller, so you can use that to pull the fuse off. When you're done, go ahead and close it. Alright, so once you have eliminated that the fuse is not the issue for no power to your sunroof, then what you're going to want to do is diagnose this switch. So you want to make sure that the switch, first of all, the arrow that is filled in is pointing towards the front, because that means it's going in the front direction. So you want to make sure that that is arrows pointing that way and you're using the right button. If that doesn't work, try to replace the switch. To replace the switch, you can just pull the switch out. Just get some kind of trim tool or something like that, and just get it in there, and it pulls right out, just like that. Then you just disconnect it from right here. Just pull it out, and there you go. That's disconnected. So replace your switch. So if that doesn't solve your issue, your next step is going to be replacing the sunroof motor, which is right underneath here. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to have to take off this panel, get a trim tool, start from the back, pry very gently, and you're going to get all these clips to pop out. Once it's popped out, it just falls right out. So this section right here sits inside this gap between the light and this metal part on the headliner, and then the rest of the tabs hold the rest of the tray in. Now you have access to the sunroof motor, which is held in with Torx screws, but you remove the 3 Torx screws and then the motor just comes straight out. And just in case, if you have your sunroof open and your motor is not working anymore, so you can't get it back down, you can use the manual function right here with the Allen key or a hex socket and just turn it manually, and that will close the sunroof. So now that we have that established, now you guys know how to replace your sunroof motor. Let's go ahead and go on to the second most common issue. So the second most common issue is the actual sunroof shade itself. There's tabs on the sunroof shade that tend to break off. As you can see on this one, it's broken off. That's why it doesn't go smoothly, and you can see it just pops up right here. So the tabs are broken on here. As you can see, just what happened right there. So what we're going to do to fix that is we're going to be removing the sunroof glass, and then we'll have access to the sunroof shade. So let's go ahead and push the sunroof shade as far back as we can. That'll reveal the screws for the sunroof glass. There's 3 Torx screws, 1, 2, and 3 on both sides. So let's go ahead and pull those off first. Alright, so to remove the sunroof glass, you're going to undo these 3 screws and make sure they don't fall down. You want to make sure they come out. These are T20 socket screws, so Torx 20. Go ahead and do the same thing on the other side. But a quick tip, if you're doing any kind of repair like this that requires you to remove screws in a small space, is to get a magnet, like a telescoping magnet like this, and try to get one with as skinny of a tip as you can. That way you can reach into the most tiniest places and go ahead and pull the screw out. Let's go ahead, I have all the bolts out, so we're going to go ahead and pull this glass out now. So once you have all those screws out, you just lift the glass straight out and go ahead and put it in a safe place. A good spot to put it is just to put it in your trunk or put it in the back seat, because you're not going to have to use the back seat to fix anything in the sunroof. Alright, so now that we have the glass out, we have access to the sunroof shade. Let's go ahead and pull it all the way to the front. Alright, now that we have it to the front, you can go ahead and see all these clips. So the 2 clips are on this side, and then the actual metal clip that comes out of the shade goes into the track on that side. So as you can see, that clip is popped out of the track. The one on the back is fine. This tab is also fine, but this one is broken. So either, well, it's not really broken, it's just not sitting in the track properly, so we're gonna fix that as well. So they actually make a repair kit for these tabs, which you can buy at the dealer, on Amazon, eBay, ECS Tuning, any of those sites, you can find these clips. It's just called the Sunroof Repair Kit, pretty much. And it'll just come with these 2 tabs, and whenever you're doing any work on this, if you have your sunroof glass out, go ahead and grease the track. And don't use WD-40 or anything like that. You want to use some kind of actual synthetic grease that won't dry up in the sun or with any heat. So you're going to use some kind of grease, and the main tab you want to grease is in the track right here. So you want to apply some grease on any of the moving parts that are going to be in contact with the sunroof track. So let's go ahead and pull off this shade so we can go ahead and fix it. Alright, so all 4 of these bolts are going to be size 10 for Torx. Let's go ahead and pull them off. Alright, let's go ahead and put all 4 of these bolts in a safe spot. Once you have all 4 bolts out, you can go ahead and slide the tab out. As you see, that one was not in, so this section has to go on the actual sunroof track, and then this one stays on the top. Now we can go ahead and pull off the sunroof shade. And that is how you remove the sunroof shade. Now let's go ahead and look at this tab right here. As you can see, this section has broke off. We can actually just go ahead and click it back in place. But if your tab itself is actually broken off, your best bet is going to be to buy another sunroof shade. If you can't, you can try repairing it with some kind of glue, but that's not really going to be a sure fix because that glue might melt or might still break off. But as you can see, I've got this pretty well off. Both of these clips are pushed in properly now. Let me go ahead and put the sunroof to the side. Now let me go ahead and show you guys another common issue with the sunroof tracks. So sometimes what will happen is the track on one side will skip a couple of teeth on the gear. So then what will happen is one side will go down like faster than the other, and it'll be uneven, and the sunroof will just get stuck, and then the sunroof motor won't be able to do anything if it's stuck. And if that happens, what you're going to have to do is remove the sunroof motor and manually get all of these tracks to be aligned properly. In order to do that, you can use the sunroof glass to guide you where you want it to be at and get them both aligned properly. Once that's done, then you can put the motor back in and you should be fine. In most cases, when people keep trying to work on it when it's messed up and they still try to keep opening and closing it with the tracks messed up, what's going to happen is your whole track, all the gears are going to start stripping. And if that happens, you actually have to replace the entire sunroof cassette. And to do that, you're going to have to remove the headliner, which I have a DIY for. And I also show you guys all the bolts for the sunroof cassette in that DIY. So just go check that DIY out if you need to replace your whole sunroof cassette. Another common thing, like I was saying, was those tabs that I was showing. So when these tabs break, they tend to leave pieces of the material on the sunroof track itself. And when that happens, the more you open and close it, these things are going to keep grinding inside the track, and eventually your gears are going to start stripping again, and you're going to have to replace your whole cassette. So as soon as your sunroof shade stops working, your best bet until you get the repair kit is to go ahead and pull it out, and then don't operate the sunroof. Or just leave everything as is, just make sure everything's closed, and unhook your sunroof motor so you don't operate it by accident. And then you're going to have to fish out all of these tracks. To do that, you're going to have to use any kind of like long flathead screwdriver or whatever you can get your hands on, and go ahead and try to pull off as much stuff out of the tracks as you can, and then go ahead and grease it and put the repair kit and use that. So that pretty much sums up on the common errors for the E46 sunroof. I mean, like I said, you want to also make sure that all these rubbers and stuff are sitting properly, because if they're not, they're going to rub against the sunroof shade, and you're still going to have problems with opening, and you might even have problems with the sunroof itself. So for us, all of this stuff is sitting properly, so we should be fine. I already went ahead and fixed the 2 tabs on here, and both of these tabs, initially I thought they were broken, but they seem to be fine. I'm just going to grease them and put them back on. So when you're reinstalling the sunroof shade, you want to make sure these 2 tabs or clips sit properly in the track before you go ahead and secure the other 2 pins. Alright, so now both of those are in properly. Let me go ahead and slide this back a little bit. Alright, so first you're going to want to go ahead and put your sunroof shade as far up as you can. Slide this clip on in the back. Go ahead and get it on top of the sunroof shade a little bit and then push your shade back just like that until you have all of this lined up. So you have to make sure this tab is in front of the rear tab that attaches to the sunroof shade. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and get this front tab on as well. Start from right here. Make sure it slides in properly. Just like that, and then go ahead and slide it. Now once you have that, then you're going to go ahead and secure these 4 screws back. Now you want to go back in your car and go ahead and check the sunroof shade, make sure it's operating properly. So as you can see, I still have a little bit of resistance, but like I said, that's because of the aftermarket fabric that we used on the shade. But as you can see, it works properly now. Alright, so in some cases, the sunroof shade might get stuck all the way in the back. And if that happens, your best bet is going to be to get some kind of needle nose pliers or something that are long and pull it out from there. And if you are going to end up having to do that, more than likely the fabric on your sunroof shade is probably already going to be messed up, as well as the clips that are on that side, on the passenger side. So just be ready to have a replacement sunroof shade. Like I showed you the process on how to replace the shade. You remove the glass, pull the little clips off, and then pull the shade out. And that's how you replace it. And just make sure if your sunroof shade was in the back, make sure you get all of the remaining material from the old clips. That way you don't mess up your tracks. And don't forget to grease everything before you put it back. I don't have the grease with me right now, so I'm just going to put it back so that way you guys know how to put it back. So like I said, once you have the sunroof shade operating properly, you're going to get the glass back, set it in right here, and then you have to tighten it from inside. I'm going to be making a separate video on how to adjust the sunroof glass, just so people that want to reference it really quickly while they're doing some work, they have it. So just watch that video, and where I'll show you guys how to put the glass back and how to go ahead and adjust the sunroof shade. So that's it for this video, guys. If you guys have any questions or any comments, feel free to leave a comment down below. Thanks for watching, guys, and stay tuned for more DIYs and more E46 and other car content as well. Thanks.